I'm creating this group chat for the new task force. We're calling it STITCH, Serial Threat Investigative Team Chat. Adding everyone now. Detective Park, Dr. Wells, Agent Rivera, Sheriff Kaplan. Welcome.
Thanks, Maya. I just left the crime scene, and I gotta say, it was revolting.
Logging in from Quantico, I've already reviewed the initial photos.
Digital forensics ready on my side too. What are we looking at exactly?
Sheriff Kaplan here. I'd like to state for the record that I requested assistance, but not a full federal takeover.
Noted, Sheriff. But 3 bodies with identical MO warrants task force protocol. I'll brief everyone now. Female victim, age 34, Cynthia Moore. Found in Milford County woods by hikers this morning. Eyes and mouth sewn shut with what appears to be vintage thread.
The precision is remarkable. This isn't their first time, clearly.
No, it's not. Which brings me to why we're all here. Sheriff Kaplan, please share the files.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable sharing these digitally. These were classified as accidents.
They weren't accidents, and you know it. Share the files or I'll have a court order within the hour.
Okay, geez. Sending them now.
2 previous victims, same Mo, spanning 18 months. Why weren't these reported to the FBI database?
Small county, limited resources, and frankly, we weren't sure what we were dealing with.
3 victims isn't just a coincidence, though. This is a serial case, and the timeline suggests he's escalating.
The first 2 were 6 months apart. This one's just 2 months after the last.
Exactly. Dr. Wells, initial thoughts?
The sewing appears intentionally ritualistic. It demonstrates some kind of symbolic silencing. He's shutting down what they can see and say. This indicates deep-seated issues with being heard or acknowledged, possibly childhood trauma related to expression.
Detective Park, what can you tell us about the latest scene?
Clean. No evidence of struggle at the dump site. Body was positioned deliberately. Hands folded over chest, like she was being presented. Oh, and we found this.
What is that?
Vintage sewing pattern. Child's garment. Eyes and mouth circled in red thread.
Were similar patterns found at the other scenes?
No, nothing like this.
So he's evolving, adding signatures.
He's getting comfortable, more expressive. This killer wants to communicate something.
I'm running the pattern through our databases. Looks like it's from the 1970s. Simplicity brand children's collection.
Check for prints.
Already on it. That was quick. I've got a partial already. Running it again through now. Oh, that's new.
What?
I got a hit, but I'm locked out of the file. It's classified for some reason.
At what level?
Federal. Someone with superior clearance is connected to this case.
What are you implying?
I'm not implying anything, just stating facts.
We'll circle back to that. For now, I want full backgrounds on all victims. We need to find the connection.
I actually kind of knew the second victim. Marissa Taylor, elementary school teacher. No enemies. Well-liked.
This is a small county. Most people know each other.
Any connection between her and the other victims?
None that we found. Different ages, occupations, social circles.
There's always a connection. We just haven't found it yet. Let's get to work. We'll reconvene on this chat in 2 hours.
They found another one. The seamster strikes again.
Sorry, who are you? How did you get this number?
Call me the Threadweaver. I know things they don't want you to know.
What things? Are you with the police?
The police don't see what's right in front of them. They don't understand what the thread means. Mr. Bean always fixes his broken toys, sews them up nice and tight so they can't see, so they can't speak.
Mr. Bean? Like the British comedy character?
No, the children's show. From the 90s, the one they don't want you to remember.
I don't know what you're talking about, and you're interrupting my podcast right now, so please, piss off.
Oh, you'll understand soon enough. Check the pattern. It's all in the pattern.
Jesus Christ, dude, no, I'm out of here. Jamie, I just got the creepiest text of my life. Some rando called the Threadweaver said, Mr. Bean always fixes his broken toys. Then he sent me this disgusting image. Like what?
Holy crap. That's from one of the recent murder scenes, and that info isn't even public yet. I have a contact at the Milford County Sheriff's Office. They found a body this morning. Female. 30s.
With stitches like that?
They're keeping details quiet, but yeah, looks similar.
What about the Mr. Bean reference? That mean anything to you?
Oh my goodness. I haven't thought about that in years.
So it's real?
Yeah, it was this funny little kids show that aired in our county. Back in the 90s. Mr. Bean was all the rage back then.
Sorry, but what is a Mr. Bean?
This silent character who fixed toys, always carrying around needle and thread. Super low budget, only aired in our area.
Wait, our area? This aired in Milford County?
Yeah, actually. They filmed it at that old psychiatric facility for kids. The one that shut down after those abuse allegations.
Jamie, this could be huge if there's a connection between these murders and that show.
Hold on. You're not thinking about turning this into a podcast episode, are you?
Why not? This is exactly the kind of story that Loose Threads covers.
Because this is an active investigation with a real killer, and we grew up there. My parents still live in Milford, too.
Which gives us unique insight. Look, Someone reached out to me, not the police, not other media. They want us to tell this story.
Or they're manipulating you. Or worse, it's the goddamn killer.
Either way, we need to look into this. Call your contact at the sheriff's office. See what else they know.
Alex, I don't like this.
Just make the call and see if you can find any recordings of that show. Mr. Bean.
Fine, but be careful with that Threadweaver person. Don't engage too much.
Too late. I'm already hooked.
Updates, people, updates. What do we have so far?
Canvassed the area where Cynthia Moore was last seen. Several witnesses recall seeing a dark sedan. No plate, no clear description of driver.
I've completed preliminary profiles. Our unsub is likely male, 30-45, methodical, patient, intelligent. The sewing indicates someone with precision skills, medical training perhaps, or textile background.
I'm still trying to get access to that fingerprint file, but I just keep hitting more roadblocks. Someone really doesn't want us looking at it.
Well, I've been going through county records, looking for any connections between victims. So far, there's nothing concrete.
What about the sewing pattern? Any significance there?
It's from a children's clothing line. Could indicate the unsub has children or is fixated on childhood.
I found something about the pattern, actually. That specific design was part of a limited release, tied to a local children's TV show promotion, something called Mr. Bean.
I remember that show.
Sheriff?
It was a small production, aired in the county back in the 90s. Bit of a creepy little show about a mute character who fixed toys.
With Thread?
Yes, he never spoke, just sewed things up.
Why wasn't this mentioned earlier?
I didn't make the connection until now. It was just a local show, been off the air for decades.
I want everything on this show. Production company, cast, crew. Where they filmed, who was involved.
I'll see what I can find, but most records from that time aren't digitized.
Dominic, search the online archives. Dr. Wells, thoughts on this connection?
It's certainly significant. Our unsub likely has a nostalgic connection to this show, the silent character who fixes things by sewing. It's becoming clear this is deeply personal. The killer is recreating something from this show, or perhaps perverting its message.
This is our first solid lead. Everyone focus on this angle. I want to know everything about Mr. Bean, and who might be killing in his name.
You're looking in the wrong places, boy.
Excuse me? Who is this?
Just a friend. The fingerprint file is locked for a reason, you know?
How do you know about that? This is a secured FBI communication.
Nothing is truly secure, just like the children weren't.
What children?
Cornerstone Psychiatric Facility for Children. Where they filmed the special episodes, where they silenced those who saw and those who spoke.
I'm tracing this number.
Don't bother. I'll be gone before you find me. But the thread remains, always connecting, past to present. Look deeper into the facility. Ask why it really closed.
Who are you?
Someone who sees, someone who speaks, someone who knows.
New development. Agent Rivera just received a text from someone calling themselves Threadweaver. They mentioned Cornerstone Psychiatric Facility and a connection to the Mr. Bean show.
How did they get his number? That's a secured line.
Exactly. Which means we either have a leak or someone with inside access.
Or our unsub has connections to law enforcement.
Cornerstone. That place has been abandoned for years, shut down after a scandal in the late 90s.
What scandal was this? I don't recall.
Abuse allegations, never proven. Place closed down anyway.
And the TV show filmed there?
Special episodes for the patients. It was supposed to be therapeutic.
Sheriff Kaplan, I need you to pull all records related to Cornerstone and any connection to our victims.
Those records were sealed by court order right after the facility closed.
Then we get a court order to unseal them. This is now our primary focus. Dominic, see if you can find any surviving footage of the show, especially episodes filmed at Cornerstone.
On it.
And everyone, be careful what you share, even in this chat. We don't know who's watching anymore. Forensic results just came in. Dr. Wells was right. The victims were alive when that freak sewed them up.
The precision makes more sense now. He wanted them to feel it, to experience the silencing.
Jesus Christ. What kind of sadistic bastard are we dealing with here?
I've compiled profiles on all three victims. Victim 1, Sarah Collins, 36, preschool administrator, found 18 months ago, initially ruled accidental death. Victim 2, Benson Collins, 42, elementary school teacher, found 8 months ago, ruled suspicious death. Victim 3, Cynthia Moore, 34, pediatric nurse, found yesterday, clearly homicide.
Wait a minute. They all worked with children.
My thoughts exactly. That's our first lead.
And they're all aged between 30-45. This suggests our unsub has specific selection criteria, possibly targeting older figures associated with children.
That's most of the people in this county. We're literally known as the education capital of the entire region. It's not exactly narrowing it down.
Sheriff, I need you to pull staff records from Cornerstone. See if any of these people ever worked there.
I already told you, those records were sealed. And besides, the timeline doesn't fit. Cornerstone closed in 1995. These people would have been teenagers then.
Well then, you guys should look at this. I've been mapping the kill sites. Notice anything?
They're forming a perimeter. Around what?
Around this. Cornerstone Pediatric Psychiatric Facility.
That's circumstantial at best. You're reaching.
Why are you being defensive about this, Sheriff?
I'm not being defensive. I'm trying to keep this all logical. That place has been abandoned for decades. It's a non-issue.
Actually, I found something interesting at each crime scene. Initially overlooked because they seemed like ordinary items.
What items?
Sewing implements, different at each scene. First victim, antique silver thimble. Second victim, bone crochet hook. Third victim, brass scissors.
Can they be traced?
They all have the same maker's mark from a craft shop called Spinner's Web. It went out of business about 20 years ago. Used to be right across from Cornerstone.
I need to go. Something's come up.
Sheriff? Sheriff Kaplan?
She's offline. That was abrupt.
Indeed. I'll talk to her about it later. Dominic, what's your status on that fingerprint?
I've been working on bypassing the security protocols. It's taken some time, but I think I'm close.
Good. Anyone got any more info on that Mr. Bean show?
Yep, I've been researching it. I'll go over what we already know and then add on the new details. So as we know, it was a small production that ran from 1992 to 1995. However, from what I've found, the creator was a man named Walter Sims. He also played the character, a silent man who fixed broken toys with thread and needle.
Any footage available?
Very little. Most of it was on VHS and never digitized, but I did find this promotional still.
That smile is unsettling.
Apparently, the show was quite popular locally, especially the special episodes filmed at Cornerstone. The children seem to love Mr. Bean.
I'm in. I accessed the fingerprint file.
And?
It belongs to a patient from Cornerstone. A child patient. Records sealed by court order in 1995 as part of a settlement.
Name?
That's the thing. It's listed only as Patient 11. No actual name in the system. Just that they were one of 12 children involved in some kind of incident.
We need those records, Dominic. Whatever happened at Cornerstone, it's the key to this whole case.
I'll head to county archives, see if there's anything that wasn't digitized.
I'll keep digging on these patients.
And I'll continue researching Mr. Bean.
Please do. Now, where the hell is Sheriff Kaplan? Her sudden departure has really struck a nerve.
I'm sure there's an explanation. She's a good cop, been sheriff here for almost 15 years.
Everyone's a good cop, until they're not.
The episode just went live, already getting tons of traffic.
I still think this was a bad idea. Announcing a serial killer investigation on your podcast before the police have even made it public?
People deserve to know, and besides, we were careful. We didn't release any details that could compromise the investigation.
You literally talked about the stitching.
The Threadweaver already sent me those photos. If they're sending them to me, they could be sending them to anyone. Have you found anything about Mr. Bean?
Actually, yes, and it's kinda mad. The show ran for 3 seasons, but apparently there was a 4th season that never aired.
Why not?
The creator, Walter Sims, he disappeared. Right after filming the final episodes, just vanished.
Disappeared? Like, went missing?
Yeah, there was an investigation and everything, but they never found him.
What about the show? Why didn't they air what was already filmed?
That's where it gets murky. There were rumors about Sims and the children at Cornerstone, torture and abuse. Nothing was ever proven, though, but the network pulled the plug anyway.
And the tapes? The episodes they filmed?
Disappeared along with Sims, or were destroyed by the network. No one knows for sure, though.
This is a whale for us, Jamie. If our killer is somehow connected to these lost episodes.
That's a big if, and you still don't know who this Threadweaver person is, or why they contacted you.
Well, speak of the devil. They just started texting me again.
I heard your podcast, Alex. You're getting closer, but you're still missing the thread. Have you seen behind Mr. Bean's smile?
Translation, please?
His smile was painted on, a mask to hide the truth. Just like the stitches, they hide what needs to be silenced.
Interesting picture. So, why are you telling me this? Why not just go to the police?
The police are part of the silence. They've been quiet for too long. Someone needs to speak. Someone needs to see. The children couldn't, but now they can.
What children? The ones at Cornerstone?
Patient 1 saw it happen. Patient 3 heard it happen. Patient 7 spoke about it. Patient 11 remembers it all. And now the thread is coming full circle.
What are you saying? Are you one of these patients?
I'm simply the weaver, connecting threads that were cut long ago. The seamster is the one you should fear. The one who silences. The one who remembers.
Who is the seamster? Is that the killer?
Find the tapes. Watch the tapes. See what they didn't want you to see.
Where did you get this? Are these the lost episodes?
Find Riley Thompson. The Archivist knows where they hide. But hurry, the needle is already threading for another. Another who saw. Another who spoke.
Jamie, look at this. It's from the lost episodes.
Holy crap!
I know, right? They said something about Patient 11 remembering everything, and mentioned someone named Riley Thompson, an archivist who knows where they hide.
Riley Thompson. I know that name. She works at the local TV station. Has done for decades, I think. She would have been there when Mr. Bean was airing.
We need to talk to her then.
Alex, slow down. This person is feeding you information, but we have no idea why, or if it's even true.
Well, the image looks real enough to me. That's actual footage from the show, and Threadweaver mentioned the seamster, said that's what the killer calls themselves.
This is getting dangerous, dude. If this person knows who the killer is, why not just tell the police?
Because the police are part of the silence. Their words, not mine. Something happened at Cornerstone. Something they covered up.
If that's true, then you're poking a hornet's nest here.
That's what I do, Jamie. I find the truth, no matter who tries to hide it.
Just don't be stupid. I don't want you becoming the next victim.
I'll be fine. Can you find contact info for Riley Thompson?
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Hello? Is this Alex Trott from Loose Threads podcast?
Yes, who's this?
I'm Mia Sanchez. I run the True Crime Collective Forum. I heard your episode about the Milford killings.
Oh, hi, Mia. What can I do for you?
I think I found something about one of the victims, Marissa Taylor.
What about her?
I've been collecting old VHS tapes of local shows. For my media studies thesis, I have a few episodes of Mr. Bean.
You have actual episodes?
Yes, 3 of them, and I was watching them after hearing your podcast. Look at this.
Who am I looking at?
That little girl. I'm 90% sure it's Marissa Taylor. As a child,
How can you be sure?
I cross-referenced with her elementary school photos from the local newspaper archives. It's her. She was one of the children in the background. During a Cornerstone episode,
Mia, this is a significant discovery. Was she a patient there?
no clue, but she's definitely in the episode. And here's the really creepy part. This episode is from the 3rd season, the last one that aired, and it's about Mr. Bean teaching children to keep secrets by sewing a doll's mouth shut.
Oh my god. Can you send me the full episode?
It's pretty degraded, but I'll digitize what I have. There's something else too.
What?
In my research on the show, I found out that Walter Sims, the creator, he used to be a nurse before he started the show.
At Cornerstone?
I think so. The records are hard to find, but the timing matches up.
Mia, you're amazing. This is exactly what I needed.
You're welcome. But remember, there's something really sinister about this whole thing, and I think it goes deeper than we realize.
Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to check something in the county archives.
That was quite abrupt, Sheriff. What exactly needed your immediate attention?
Oh, just an old case file. I remembered we had some physical documentation on Cornerstone. Wanted to check before I said anything definitive.
And?
Nothing helpful, I'm afraid. Most of the records were either destroyed or redacted. Just like I said.
Interesting, because county archives closed at 4 p.m. It's now 9:30 p.m.
I have keys. I am the sheriff after all. What's with the attitude?
Just making sure we're all on the same page is all, and fully transparent.
Agreed. By the way, I've made contact with some former Cornerstone staff. Most are reluctant to talk, but I've got a meeting with a former nurse tomorrow, Vivian Palmer. She's in her 80s now.
I have something to add too. I've been tracking the Threadweaver's messages. They're bouncing through different public networks around town. Whoever it is, they're moving constantly, and they clearly have a very sophisticated knowledge of IP addresses.
This is all helpful information. Fiona, anything to add?
Indeed, I do. I've completed a comprehensive profile on suspect. According to my findings, it's likely they experienced severe childhood trauma, likely related to silencing, being forced to keep secrets, being punished for speaking or seeing.
How does that connect to the Mr. Bean show?
The show may have been a trigger, or more disturbingly, it may have been designed to reinforce the silence, teaching children to keep secrets, showing them what happens when they don't.
So our victims
Could be people who broke the silence, or at least threatened to, people connected to Cornerstone who knew something even.
Sheriff, was Cornerstone ever investigated for abuse?
There were allegations, yes. Back in '95, nothing was ever proven though. The facility closed anyway. Bad publicity. Lost funding.
Well, either way, I want those patient records, especially patient 11's. Dominic, keep trying to access that file.
Working on it, but I'm running into even more complex encryption. Whoever locked this down didn't want it found.
Liam, see what you can get out of Nurse Palmer, and everyone make sure you're carrying your gun with you. Our killer is escalating, and if this pattern holds, we'll be finding another body soon.
Ms. Thompson, this is Jamie Wilson. I'm a producer with Loose Threads podcast.
Hello, Jamie. I got your message. You're asking about Mr. Bean, right?
Yes. Thank you for responding. We're researching the show for a potential episode. I understand you were working at the station when it aired?
I was, though I try not to remember those days.
Oh, why is that, if you don't mind me asking?
To put it simply, it just wasn't a pleasant time. That show, there was something off about it. And about Walter.
Walter Sims, the creator?
Yes. He was intense, particular about every detail, especially the episodes filmed at Cornerstone.
Do you know what happened to him?
Officially? No. He disappeared after filming the final season, the one that never aired.
What about the tapes? The episodes from that season?
Most were destroyed. There was a fire in the storage room. Very convenient timing.
You think it was deliberate?
Well, I didn't say that, but it certainly happened the same night that Walter vanished. So draw your own conclusions, whatever they may be.
Were any saved? Any copies?
There was one box, labeled Special Patients. It disappeared during the investigation. Police said it was probably destroyed, but I never believed that.
Why not?
Because I saw someone take it, the night of the fire. A woman. She worked at Cornerstone.
Do you remember her name?
No, but she was high up there, administrative. She knew Walter well.
Would you recognize her if you saw her again?
Maybe. It was a long time ago, but some faces you don't forget.
Ms. Thompson, this is incredibly helpful. Is there anything else you remember about the show or Walter?
Just one more thing. Walter always said the same thing before filming with the children. Today we learned to keep our secrets safe. It seemed innocent enough at the time. Now I wonder.
Thank you for sharing this. I know it must be difficult.
You're welcome, but just a warning. Whatever you're looking into, some threads are better left untangled. That's all I'm saying.
I have more for you, Alex. More pieces of the puzzle.
I'm listening.
Season 2, Episode 7. Season 3, Episode 4. Season 3, Episode 12.
These are timestamps for Mr. Bean episodes?
Watch the background. Watch the children. Count them. See who disappears.
I don't have these episodes.
Your new friend does. Mia Sanchez. She has more than she told you.
How do you know about Mia?
I know many things. I see many things, just like the children did.
Then what happened to those children? The ones who disappeared?
Some were transferred. Others were cured. But as I said, Patient 11 knows the truth. Patient 11 remembers everything.
Mr. Weaver, are you by chance Patient 11?
I am the thread. Connecting past to present, the seamster is the needle, silencing those who should have protected.
You keep saying that, but what does it even mean? Who should have protected whom?
The adults. They saw, they heard, but they did nothing. Now they must be silenced, as the children were silenced.
These murders, their revenge for what happened at Cornerstone.
Justice, not revenge. There's a difference.
Who is that child in the back left? The one whose face is just off camera?
That, I believe, is Patient 11, the one who remembered, the one who will make them all remember before the final silence.
This is getting cryptic as hell. If you know who's doing this, why not just tell me?
Because the story must be told, all of it, from beginning to end. The world must see, the world must hear, before the final stitch is sewn.
I understand you're looking for Mr. Bean memorabilia.
Who is this?
Walter Klein. I'm a collector, specializing in obscure children's television. Pleased to meet you.
Okay, I can't believe I'm asking this again, but how are you texting me right now? My number literally just isn't public.
Your podcast, of course. You mentioned your interest in Mr. Bean, and I have original merchandise. Props from the show, things you won't find anywhere else.
But why contact me? Why not sell them online?
These items are unique, not suitable for general sale, but perfect for your research.
Okay, what kind of items do you have then?
Hand-stitched puppets, original costumes, and Walter Sims's personal notebook.
You have his notebook?
Yes, with designs, patterns, ideas for episodes that never aired.
How much?
For you, $5,000. Cash only.
That's a lot of money. How do I know these are authentic? Jesus Christ, those look
familiar? They should. The patterns match. What he's doing now is exactly the same as what he did back then.
You know about the murders?
Everyone knows. Your podcast made sure of that. But I know more. I know why.
Tell me then.
$5,000. Then I tell you everything. Everything I saw. Everything I heard. At Cornerstone.
You were there?
Yep. I saw it all. Walter showing the children how to keep secrets, how to stay silent with needle and thread.
I need to think about this.
Don't think too long. Others are interested and time is running out.
I'll get back to you. Jamie, things are getting a little bit intense, not gonna lie. A guy named Walter Klein just contacted me. He has puppets from the show, with the same stitching patterns as the victims.
What the hell? What kind of creep keeps puppets from a children's show?
Literally, and guess what? He wants $5,000 for the collection, including Walter Sims's notebook.
$80? That's ridiculous, and definitely not in our budget, may I just add.
But Jamie, what if it's real? What if it contains the answers?
Or what if this guy is the killer, luring you in?
I thought about that already, man. But Threadweaver implied the killer is Patient 11 from Cornerstone.
And you believe everything Threadweaver says? For all we know, Walter Klein is Threadweaver and the killer.
True. I'll think about it a bit more then. Anyway, what did you find out from Riley Thompson?
A lot, actually. She confirmed most tapes were destroyed in a fire. The night Walter disappeared, funnily enough. But she saw someone take a box labeled Special Patients, a woman who worked at Cornerstone.
Holy crap, this is all connected.
I also called Dr. Theo, asked if he could consult on this.
Good idea. Did you send him the clips from Mia?
Yes, he's analyzing them now. Says there's definitely something sinister about the show, from a psychological perspective at least.
This is a juicy one, Jamie. We're uncovering something no one has talked about in decades.
I'm worried about you, dude. These people that are contacting you, they know too much.
That's the point. They want me to know. They want everyone to know what happened at Cornerstone.
Just don't go swinging in blind, okay? Please?
Alex, I've reviewed the clips Jamie sent me. We need to talk.
Sure thing. What did you find?
This show definitely wasn't just entertainment. It was using sophisticated psychological manipulation techniques.
Oh, really? Like what?
The repetitive phrases, the visual patterns, the way Mr. Bean would stare directly into the camera. It's designed to condition children.
Condition them to what?
Silence, compliance, secret keeping. In this segment of the episode you sent, Mr. Bean literally demonstrates sewing a doll's mouth shut, while a voiceover says, "Some things are never meant to be spoken."
That's interesting.
In my professional opinion, this was a form of systemic abuse disguised as children's entertainment.
But why? What purpose would that serve?
To keep children from reporting abuse, to normalize silence in the face of trauma. It's actually quite brilliant in a disturbing way.
And these episodes were shown at Cornerstone?
Apparently so, which suggests the abuse was happening there, and this was a method to ensure children wouldn't talk.
Dr. Theo, if these murder victims were somehow connected to Cornerstone,
then someone is seeking retribution for what happened there. Someone who was silenced and is now doing the silencing.
A former patient, perhaps.
Most likely, could be someone who endured whatever happened there. Someone who remembers everything and has carried that trauma for decades.
One more thing then before we wrap this up. Threadweaver keeps mentioning Patient 11. Does that mean anything to you?
Hospital protocols typically numbered patients, especially in research or special treatment programs. Patient 11 would have been part of a specific group, a group of children receiving similar treatment.
Treatment or abuse?
Based on what I'm seeing in these clips, I'd say the latter. And if Patient 11 is now an adult with untreated trauma, who's come face to face with those responsible, this killing spree may be just the beginning.
Damn it. We have another body, found at Milford Lake. Same MO. Eyes and mouth sewn shut. But there's something different this time.
What is it?
The killer left us a gift.
Is that a USB drive sewn into his goddamn palm?
Yep, victim is Robert Winters, 43, elementary school principal. Went missing 2 days ago.
The educational connection continues then, I guess. But the USB is new. He's communicating more directly now.
Dominic, I want that USB analyzed ASAP. Use a secure computer. No network connections.
Already on it. CSU is extracting it now. We'll update as soon as I have it.
4 victims in less than 2 years, and now he's leaving. Messages?
He clearly wants to be heard. Does the name Robert Winters have any connection to Cornerstone?
Not that I'm aware of, but I'll check the records.
I'll need those records too, by the way. All of them. No more stonewalling.
I'm not stonewalling anything. The records that exist are limited, and most are sealed by court order.
I've already put in for the court order. Should come through by tomorrow.
Fine, but don't expect much. Cornerstone was good at covering their tracks.
Special Agent Reeves, Captain Graham here. Apologies for joining this chat unannounced, but we need to discuss operational security.
No problem, sir.
Very good. Now, are you aware of a podcast called Loose Threads?
Can't say that I am.
Well, they're discussing our case in a lot of detail, including information not yet released to the public.
Oh, I've heard of it. It's gaining traction online. Thousands of downloads since yesterday.
How did they get our information?
That's what I want to know, Agent Reeves. This is your task force, your responsibility.
I'll look into it immediately, sir. No one on this team is authorized to speak to media.
See that they don't, and find the leak.
I've got the USB contents. They're Pretty demented.
What's on it?
Loads of corrupted image files from what appears to be VHS footage. I've managed to recover a few. There are timestamps consistent with television production. These look like they're definitely from the unreleased final season.
The missing episodes.
The ones that disappeared with Walter Sims.
So our killer has access to these tapes, or at least some of the content from them.
Dominic, anything else on the drive?
Just more corrupted files I'm trying to recover. And a text document. It just says : They watched. They knew. They did nothing.
This confirms my profile then. The killer believes these victims were complicit in something that happened at Cornerstone.
What have you found on the victims, Doctor? Wells?
I've been digging through old records, and I've found a pattern. All 4 victims had connections to Cornerstone. Sarah Collins, her younger brother, was a patient there from 1992-1995. Marissa Taylor. She appears to have been a patient herself briefly in 1993. Cynthia Moore. Her mother worked there as an administrative assistant. Robert Winters. His father was on the board of directors.
So they all had ties. Sheriff Kaplan, did you know about these connections?
I'm just seeing this information now, same as you.
If I may interject, I just found something else. In the county archives, a list of medical examiners from 1990 to 1996. There's a name here that might be relevant.
And what name is that?
Ellen Davis. She was the assistant medical examiner for Milford County, specialized in pediatric cases, resigned suddenly in 1995.
Davis? Sheriff Kaplan's maiden name is Davis, isn't it?
Many people have that last name. It's a very common surname.
Is she related to you, Sheriff?
She's my aunt. I didn't think it was relevant. She's been dead for 10 years.
I'll decide what's relevant. I need access to her records.
Those medical files are sealed, unfortunately. Patient confidentiality and all that. Even I don't have access.
Then we'll get a court order for those too. This isn't a coincidence, Sheriff. Too many connections keep leading back to Cornerstone. And now to your family.
Jamie, they found another body.
I just heard. This is terrible, and it makes me feel sick. The news said something about a USB drive.
Yeah. Sewn into his hand. Some saw-type crap. Any update on finding Maple Jones?
Actually, yes. I tracked her down. She's working at a nursing home outside of town, but she refuses to speak on record.
What did she say off record then?
Not much. She just seemed terrified. But she did give me another name. Nurse Vivian Palmer. She's at Sunshine Acres Retirement Home. And get this, she worked at Cornerstone for its entire operation.
No way! I need to talk to her then.
See, there's a problem though. She has severe dementia. Her lucidity comes and goes. Some days she remembers everything clearly. Other days, nothing at all.
It's worth a shot nonetheless. Oh, and did Dr. Theo send you his analysis?
Yes. He believes the show was designed to condition children. All to keep secrets about all the abuse and crap that happened there.
We need to go public with this.
Alex, slow down. We don't have hard evidence yet. Just theories and fragments.
What about the pictures from the USB drive? The ones on the news?
They're partial evidence, sure, but they don't prove abuse. Just that Walter Sims was teaching kids to sew.
In a children's psychiatric facility, behind closed doors, on camera.
I know how it looks, man, but we need more. Before we make accusations this intense. Oh, something else I meant to tell you. Becca Lawson reached out to me.
Marissa Taylor's sister?
Yes, she has Marissa's journal. Says it contains information about Cornerstone. She wants to talk to you.
Set it up. I'm going to message Nurse Palmer too. See if she remembers anything.
Be gentle with her. She's very old and confused.
Is this Alex Trott from the podcast?
Yes, this is Alex. Jamie told me you wanted to talk.
Yes, about my sister, Marissa.
I'm so sorry for your loss, Becca.
Thank you. I heard your podcast about the connections to Cornerstone.
Yes. We're investigating that angle. Jamie mentioned your sister kept a journal?
She did, for years too, but especially in the months before she was killed. I just can't say it, you know?
I understand. This must be incredibly difficult.
I never thought the journal was important. That was the case at least until I heard your podcast about that freak Mr. Bean.
Why is that?
Because Marissa had been researching the show and Cornerstone. She recognized herself in old footage.
She was in the show?
Briefly. She was a patient at Cornerstone for 3 months in 1993. Our parents never talked about it, but after she saw herself in the background of an episode, she became obsessed with finding out more. She spoke about something called the Quiet Room and Mr. Bean's lessons in her journal. Maybe they relate?
What's the Quiet Room?
Not sure, but she mentions it repeatedly in there, along with something called special sessions.
Can you send me some of the pages, or the entire journal?
I can do better. I've scanned the whole thing. I'll email it to you.
Thank you, Becca. This could be crucial to understanding what happened.
I just want to know why someone would do something this horrific to her. If it's because of Cornerstone, then other people might be in danger too.
I think you're right, and I promise I'll do everything I can to find the truth.
Please do. Oh, but don't let your guard down. Marissa wrote that someone was watching her in the weeks before she died, following her around too. She thought she was being paranoid, but clearly she wasn't.
Hello, Ms. Palmer. My name is Alex Trott. I was hoping to ask you about your time at Cornerstone Psychiatric Facility.
Who are you, boy? How did you get this number?
I'm a journalist. Maple Jones suggested I talk to you.
Maple? Oh, sweet Maple. Such a kind girl, always bringing cookies to the children.
You remember her from Cornerstone?
Cornerstone. Oh my, I haven't thought about that place in years. So many children, so many sad little faces.
Ms. Palmer, I was hoping you could tell me about Walter Sims and his show, Mr. Bean.
Walter, such a creative man. The children loved him. Well, most of them at least.
Most of them?
Some were afraid of the needle, of the thread, of the quiet room.
What was the quiet room?
Where they fixed the noisy children, the ones who couldn't keep secrets, the ones who saw too much.
Ms. Palmer, what happened in the quiet room?
Walter would teach them how to be still, how to be silent, with his needle and thread. Just pretend, of course, for the show.
The show was recorded in the quiet room?
Special episodes for special children. Patient 1 through patient 12. The special program.
And what was this special program?
Dr. Lawrence's research, behavioral modification, using visual stimuli. I need my medicine now. Who is this? Why are you asking about Cornerstone?
I'm trying to understand what happened there.
Nothing happened. Nothing at all. Just troubled children. Getting better. I have to go now. Nurse is calling.
Wait, please. What about patient 11?
Patient 11? Oh, poor thing. The one who saw. The one who spoke. The one they couldn't silence. Even with the thread. Even with the needle. Now I really must go, I'm afraid.
Ms. Palmer, please. This is important.
Find the tapes from the quiet room before he does. Before he finishes what he started. With real needle. With real thread.
Before who finishes? Walter Sims?
No. Patient 11.
We just received an anonymous tip to the FBI hotline, text only. What threads connect the missing to the silenced? Look to the storage where memories are preserved. Unit 11, Milford Self-Storage. The children are waiting, followed by this picture.
That sounds like our thread weaver.
I'm closest to that location. I can be there in 15 minutes.
Take backup and weapons. It could be a trap.
Roger that. I'll update when I arrive.
Fiona, what do you make of this message?
It's consistent with previous communications, that's for sure. Unit 11 is significant. It matches our recurring theme of Patient 11. I believe we'll find something there that connects to the children.
I've been digging through more of the USB files. I've recovered a partial video. It shows Walter Sims demonstrating sewing techniques to a group of children in what appears to be a basement room. Concrete walls, no windows. Could be the quiet room our sources have mentioned.
What else?
The video cuts before anything questionable happens, but the children's expressions are blank, fearful. Also, there's another adult in the room. A woman in a lab coat, only partially visible.
Can you ID her?
Working on enhancing the image. I'll update you when I can.
All right. I'm at the storage unit, getting ready to enter. Local PD is with me. Breaking the lock now. Okay, it's filled with newspaper clippings, preserved in plastic sheets, hundreds of them. They're all about children, troubled children, who disappeared from psychiatric care. In the early 90s, their eyes and mouths are blacked out with marker.
This is the shrine. Our killer has been planning this for years.
There's something else. A list of names, children who went through Cornerstone and never went home. Oh God.
What is it, Detective?
My cousin's name is on this list, Daniel Park. He disappeared in 1994. My family was told he was transferred to a specialized facility in another state. But according to this, he never left Cornerstone.
I've spent the last few hours reviewing the case files, and I've noticed several discrepancies. Sheriff Kaplan, care to explain why the coroner's reports you uploaded are different from the ones Detective Park found in archives?
Excuse me? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about you selectively editing information. You withheld the fact that all victims had small puncture marks on their necks, similar to needle marks, and all previous victims had traces of thread residue in their veins. Take a look for yourself if you don't believe me.
Those details weren't even relevant, and they could have been contaminated by the killer's MO.
That's not your call to make. This is a federal investigation. You're supposed to share everything.
I'm trying to protect my community from a witch hunt, from people jumping to stupid conclusions, which is exactly what you're doing right now.
This isn't about protecting your community. It's about protecting someone, and I want to know who that someone is.
This conversation is over. I need to consult with County Council before continuing this discussion.
That's fine. I'll just continue my investigation without you. In the meantime, meantime, you're removed from active field duty on this case. Detective Park will liaise with local PD going forward.
Actually, I've submitted a request for personal leave, effective immediately.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry, but I need to look into what happened to my cousin. This is personal now.
I understand, but I could use your help.
I'm really sorry. According to the records in the storage unit, Daniel was admitted to Cornerstone 3 months before he disappeared. My family deserves answers, right?
Of course they do. Take all the time you need. Just keep me updated, okay?
Absolutely. And I'll still help where I can, just unofficially.
Dr. Wells, what's your assessment of the situation?
The needle marks and thread residue are significant, especially given what we found in the storage unit, and the information from Nurse Palmer about the quiet room. I believe Walter Sims was conducting some form of experimental treatment, using the puppet show as cover.
And the victims?
They may have been witnesses, or participants who threatened to expose what happened.
Agents, I've enhanced that image from the video. The woman in the lab coat? Could that be Ellen Davis, Sheriff Kaplan's aunt?
It's difficult to tell, but the resemblance is there. We need to formally question Sheriff Kaplan, and I want complete personnel records for everyone who worked at Cornerstone. That includes security, custodial, and everyone.
I'll start the paperwork.
Officer Peters here. I've been monitoring digital communications about the case, as assigned, and there's something you should know.
Go on.
That podcast, Loose Threads. They're getting information before we are, including details about the quiet room and patient 11. They've interviewed former staff and relatives of victims.
Ugh. How the hell are they doing this?
Unclear, but they have a source called Threadweaver, who seems to know intimate details about Cornerstone and the whole case itself.
Where are you getting this information?
Their podcast is public, ma'am, and I've been monitoring forums where listeners discuss it. We're not the only ones investigating this anymore.
Dominic, can you trace this Threadweaver's communications?
I've been trying. They're using sophisticated encryption and multiple routing points. Whoever they are, they really know how to cover their tracks.
Let's send a message to this Alex Trott person. See what they know. Actually, just to check. Has Captain Graham seen these reports?
I've sent everything to him. No response yet, which is also pretty unusual.
Try to reach him again then. We need his authorization for next steps.
Fiona, I've created a secure channel. I don't feel comfortable discussing some aspects of this case in the main chat.
I was thinking the same thing. Too many inconsistencies, too many coincidences.
The leak has to be coming from someone inside the task force.
Or connected to it. I did some background checking. Sheriff Kaplan has been blocking investigative attempts into Cornerstone for years, long before our case.
And her aunt was the medical examiner?
Yes, who conveniently disappeared right when the facility closed.
But there's something else too. I dug deeper into Captain Graham's background and found something interesting.
What's that?
Before he joined the FBI, he briefly worked security at Cornerstone.
What? That's a massive conflict of interest. Why didn't he disclose that?
Exactly. And he's been unusually hands-on with this case for a supervisory role.
Have you told Maya?
Not yet. I wanted to verify everything first, but I can't access his complete employment records. They're restricted.
That's suspicious. Who restricts their own employment records?
Someone with something to hide. I don't know who to trust anymore.
Just Maya for now. She seems genuinely committed to solving this case, no matter where it leads.
Agreed. I'll brief her privately, in person, not over any digital channels.
Good idea.
Urgent! Do not talk to Walter Klein.
What? Why?
He is not who he claims to be. He was there, in the quiet room, holding the children down, while Walter Sims threaded the needle.
You're saying he worked at Cornerstone?
Security. The one who caught the runners. The one who brought them back for special treatment.
How do you know this?
I was there, goddammit. I remember his face. I remember his voice. I remember that cold metal needle he'd shove into the flesh. Be quiet now, child. Mr. Bean doesn't like noisy children.
Oh my goodness. Who are you really? Were you one of the patients?
I'm the one who remembers when everyone else forgot or pretended to forget. Patient 11 remembers everything.
You are Patient 11? Are you the killer?
I am not the seamster. As I said, I am only the thread, connecting past to present. The seamster is the needle, silencing those who should have spoken, but didn't. Walter Klein is next. His hands held down too many children. While they screamed, while they begged, he must be silenced.
This is madness. You can't just let someone murder him.
The thread of justice cannot be broken. Not after so many years. Not after so much silence. The pattern must be completed.
What pattern?
The circle around Cornerstone. Each death marks a point. When complete, the truth will be sewn shut forever, or finally revealed.
I need to contact the FBI.
They already know. Some of them were there too, watching, guarding, hiding. Captain Marcus Graham. Ask Special Agent Reeves about him, about his time at Cornerstone, before he became FBI.
Marcus Graham worked at Cornerstone?
Security, just like Walter Klein. They were friends, partners, protectors of the bloody silence.
Jesus. I have dozens of messages from former residents sharing their memories. Are they all connected to this?
Yes. The web is vast. The thread touches many. The children who returned changed, with tiny needle marks and nightmares they couldn't explain. Check your messages again at midnight.
Jamie, I think we're in over our heads. I have dozens of messages from people, all with stories about Cornerstone.
The podcast is blowing up. We've had over 50,000 downloads in the last 24 hours.
Not about that, Jamie. About the content of these messages. People describing children who attended special tapings and came back different.
Different how?
Quiet, withdrawn, terrified of needles and thread, and they all had tiny needle marks under their skin. On their arms, necks, even eyelids.
Jesus.
Threadweaver just warned me not to talk to Walter Klein. Says he worked security at Cornerstone, that he held down children while they were experimented on.
I thought you were going to. This meeting was your idea, man.
I know. But now I'm mortified by the very idea of it. Threadweaver also mentioned a Captain Marcus Graham, FBI supervisor. Says he works security there too.
Let me do some digging on him. And Alex, you have a gun, right?
Yeah?
Good. Because this isn't just a story anymore. People are dying.
I know. Has Dr. Theo analyzed the footage Mia sent us?
Yes. He's really freaked out about it too. Says it contains embedded imagery, subliminal stuff that could trigger post-hypnotic responses in viewers.
What does that even mean?
Basically, the show could have been used to program the children, to respond to certain visual or verbal cues, even years later.
So the needle and thread?
Could be triggers, activating whatever conditioning they received.
Those poor kids? Threadweaver told me to check my messages at midnight. Said something big is coming.
That's ominous as hell. What do you think it means?
I don't know, but I think the seamster is going to kill again.
Agent Reeves, I can't reach Captain Graham. He's not answering his phone, not responding to messages, and his location tracker has been disabled.
That's not procedure. When did you last hear from him?
Yesterday morning, after he joined our chat. Nothing since.
Try his home address. Send a local unit for a wellness check.
Already did. No response there either, but his car is gone.
Patch me through to Assistant Director Carson.
Should we be concerned?
Possibly. Dominic just shared something concerning. Captain Graham worked security at Cornerstone before joining the FBI.
That's a significant omission. Why would he hide that?
That's exactly what I want to know, and why he's gone dark at such a crucial point in the investigation.
Agents, emergency dispatch just received a call. Body found at Milford Park. Initial description matches our killer's MO again.
Get a team there right now.
Yes, ma'am. One more thing. The responding officer reported something unusual. The victim has a name sewn into their tongue.
Whose name?
Captain Marcus Graham.
This is Assistant Director Carson joining the task force. Captain Graham has been placed on administrative leave, pending investigation. Special Agent Reeves is now the acting task force leader. I expect full cooperation from all team members.
Thank you, sir. Team, effective immediately, we're relocating operations. Our secure channel shows evidence of compromise. New comms protocols will be distributed in a new group chat.
Understood, Agent Reeves.
Secure chat has now been established. Let's continue with the investigation.
I've sent you a secure file with my findings. The forensics from the body with Graham's name on the tongue. Blood chemistry showed evidence of heavy sedation. He was alive when the killer sewed his tongue.
Our unsub is escalating, taking higher risk targets. We need to move quickly.
I've been creating a comprehensive timeline, connecting Cornerstone staff to patients. There's something coming up in the pattern.
Go on.
Several children who appeared in the background of Mr. Bean episodes later joined the facility staff as adults, including 2 who later became security personnel, with a focus on patient oversight.
They hired former patients as staff?
Not just any patients, specifically those who went through the special program, almost like they were trained for these positions.
Agent Reeves, Detective Park is back. He's requesting to rejoin the task force.
Send him in. Detective, welcome back.
Thank you. I found something in my family records about my cousin Daniel, his admission papers to Cornerstone. Look at the reason for admission.
What does that say? Excessive truthfulness about adult activities at the facility. This implies he saw something they wanted to keep quiet.
Exactly. And there's more. He was placed in a special behavioral modification program after being non-responsive to standard therapy. That was the last communication my family received, 3 weeks before he transferred.
This is significant evidence. Have you been able to locate any other families who lost children at Cornerstone?
Several. A pattern emerges for all of them. Initial admission for minor behavioral issues. Escalation to special programs, then transfer or discharge, with no further contact.
Dominic, I want you to cross-reference these names that you found with any employee records from Cornerstone, specifically security personnel.
Already in progress, and I've tracked Threadweaver's latest message to the county records building, where Sheriff Kaplan was supposedly researching old files.
When was this?
Last night, between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m.
She lied to us then. She said she was at home.
Agent Reeves, Nurse Vivian Palmer, the former Cornerstone nurse. She suffered a stroke after being questioned by local authorities.
Is she all right?
But before losing consciousness, she said this: the children behind the mirror. She died 20 minutes after.
Jamie, any news on Walter Sims?
Actually, yes. I found his death certificate. Walter Sims didn't just disappear. He died 3 months after the show was canceled. His death was labeled a suicide.
Suicide? That doesn't make sense.
It gets weirder, dude. I spoke to a former county clerk, the one who processed the paperwork. She remembered it because it was unusual.
What do you mean by unusual?
His eyes and mouth were sewn shut, just like our current victims. But the case was quickly classified by federal authorities, ruled a suicide despite the obvious impossibility.
You think he was the first victim?
Either that, or someone wanted it to look like suicide, to cover up what he knew.
Or what he did. The tapes, the quiet room, the special patients. Walter Sims was orchestrating something evil at Cornerstone.
Mia's community found something else too. All the murders occur on dates corresponding to original Mr. Bean episode air dates. It's a specific pattern. Each victim is killed exactly on the anniversary of an episode they appeared in.
So the killer is following a broadcast schedule from the 90s?
Exactly. And if the pattern holds, the next murder will be in 3 days, on June 14th. The anniversary of the series finale.
We need to warn the FBI.
Already tried. They're not taking our calls, but I've compiled all the evidence and sent it to every news outlet in the state.
Jamie, a package arrived for me through the door. No return address on it.
Don't open it.
Too late. It's a recorder, an old cassette recorder.
Is there a tape in it?
Yes. Now hold on. Let me listen. Jamie, oh my God.
What is it?
It's a child's voice, describing quiet time procedures at Cornerstone. Listen to this transcript. When we're bad, Mr. Bean takes away our seeing and speaking privileges. He says we need to learn the value of listening. The needle doesn't hurt that much anymore. I'm getting better at being quiet. Dr. Lawrence says I'm making progress. Soon I can be a helper like the others.
Jesus Christ. Who is Doctor? Lawrence, that name keeps coming up.
No idea, but Vivian Palmer mentioned him too. Said he was running behavioral modification research.
We need to find him then. He's the key to all of this.
They found us, all of us, the ones who were hidden, the ones who were silenced, the ones who never left.
What are you talking about?
The quiet room, where the circle was formed, where the children watched, where the children learned, where the children died.
Died? Are you saying children were killed at Cornerstone?
Not all who entered the quiet room came back out. The resistant ones, the ones who fought, the ones who wouldn't be silenced. They became part of the circle.
I don't understand. What circle?
Behind the mirror, where the others could see, where the others could learn. What happens when you speak? What happens when you see? What happens when you tell?
Nurse Palmer wrote something before she died. The children behind the mirror. Was there a two-way mirror in the quiet room?
In the basement, behind the locked door, room 11, the special classroom, where patient 11 watched all others die, but prevailed, where patient 11 learned to thread the needle.
The FBI found bodies, didn't they? That's what you're trying to tell me.
Agent Rivera found what was hidden. Yes.
This is horrific. How many?
12 were chosen. 11 were silenced. 1 learned to speak through the thread. 1 learned to see through the stitches. 1 survived to tell.
Then why don't you go to the authorities?
They were the authorities. They watched. They approved. They funded. The mirror has 2 sides. 1 for the children. 1 for the observers.
Oh my goodness. The government knew?
Graham knew. Klein knew. Kaplan knew. Lawrence directed. Sims implemented. The children suffered. The children died because of them.
I have to share this.
The pattern is almost complete. The final stitch approaches. June 14th, when the circle will close. The series finale, the final episode. Don't try to stop it, Alex. Justice threads its needle.
Agent Reeves, I've found something at Cornerstone. You need to get here immediately. Sending coordinates now. I don't even have words.
What did you find?
A hidden room. In the basement, behind a false wall. Room 11.
And?
Bodies. Children's bodies. Perfectly preserved. All in hospital gowns. Eyes and mouths sewn shut. Seated in a circle.
My God.
They're arranged around a central point, all facing a two-way mirror. On the other side is an observation room with recording equipment and viewing chairs.
How many bodies?
11, all children, based on decomposition and preservation methods. They've been here since the 1990s.
Secure the scene. No one gets in or out until backup arrives.
There's something else. I found documents, project files, something called Operation Quiet Child. It appears to be a behavioral modification program, just as we suspected, using sensory deprivation and symbolic punishment to create compliant individuals.
Is there a list of participants?
Yes, 12 children, patients 1 through 12. 11 bodies are here. Patient 11 is missing.
Then who is patient 11?
The file is heavily redacted, but one name is visible. Dr. Elise Lawrence, lead researcher.
Any relation to Ellen Kaplan?
I'm checking now. Oh my god. Elise Lawrence is Ellen Kaplan's mother, not her aunt. She lied to us.
Find Sheriff Kaplan, right now.
She's disappeared. No one has seen her since yesterday. And there's one more thing. The observation logs, they're signed by multiple officials, including someone from the FBI that was unnamed at the time.
Marcus Graham.
And the county medical examiner, Ellen Davis, who was actually Elise Lawrence's sister, Sheriff Kaplan's aunt. This was a family operation.
Jesus Christ. They've been covering this up for decades. Do we have any idea who patient 11 is?
There's a photo, partially burned, a child. But the face is obscured. The name has been redacted, thoroughly so.
Keep looking. There has to be more info. We need to confirm if Kaplan's our killer. We need to know who patient 11 is.
Wait, I found a label on one of the file folders. Patient 11, Park D.
Daniel Park? Detective Park's cousin?
That's what it says. Patient 11, Park D. Subject shows remarkable resistance to modification techniques. Recommend advanced protocol.
Where's Detective Park right now?
Unknown. He left after delivering the family records. Said he had more research to do.
Find him, immediately.
But if Daniel Park is patient 11, and he was reported missing in 1994, but his body isn't here with the others, then where is he?
That's what we need to find out, and quickly, before anyone else gets their mouth sewn shut.
Agent Reeves, I have information on Sheriff Kaplan's whereabouts. Last night at approximately 2300 hours, I observed her entering the abandoned Cornerstone facility, alone. She seemed distressed but very focused.
Why didn't you report this earlier?
I was monitoring on my own initiative. Wasn't sure what I was seeing until I heard about the discovery in room 11. She had keys to a side entrance, carried a flashlight and what appeared to be a file box. Don't know if she ever came out though.
I want a full tactical team at Cornerstone, now, and get those search warrants expedited. I want every remaining staff member's property searched.
I've been analyzing the community leadership in Milford County, and I've found 5 current community leaders who appear on the Cornerstone staff roster. The current school superintendent, the county medical examiner, the head of Parks and Recreation, the director of the Children's Crisis Center, and the chairman of the County Historical Society.
Any of them connected directly to the special program?
The medical examiner and the superintendent are both listed as program observers. The others were support staff, but they all signed confidentiality agreements and received substantial bonuses when the facility closed.
This conspiracy runs deeper than I thought. They've been protecting each other for decades.
I've been investigating Walter Klein, the collector who contacted Alex Trott. It seems Walter Klein isn't a real person. It was a pseudonym used by multiple facility employees. When ordering supplies for the program, mostly therapeutic supplies, but also costume materials and recording equipment.
So, anyone could have been using that name to contact Alex?
Exactly. And I've decrypted more image files from the USB. The final episode of the Mr. Bean show. It shows him removing his costume head, but the footage cuts before revealing his face. Deliberately so, like it was edited that way on purpose.
Almost like anyone could be Mr. Bean?
That would make sense. The character never spoke. Always wore the same costume. Perfect for multiple people to portray. I believe I understand the killer's pattern now. They're recreating a ritualistic finale that was never aired. Each murder corresponds to a specific episode number, and position in the original seating circle from room 11.
How many episodes were in the final season?
12. We've had 5 victims. If I'm right, we can expect up to 7 more. Unless we stop this now.
7 more potential victims. Any idea who they might be?
Anyone connected to the program, particularly those who watched, those who knew, those who did nothing.
Agent Reeves, emergency alert from the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Kaplan has been found.
Where?
Her office, but it's not good.
Mother of God.
Yup, she seems to be having some kind of psychological break. Not speaking, just staring. Thread and needle marks on her fingers, eyes fixed open with medical tape, and a message carved into her desk.
What does it say?
The seamster was made, not born.
So she wasn't the killer. She was... what? Being manipulated or forced to help?
This is a major development. If Sheriff Kaplan isn't the seamster, then who is?
Wait, if the seamster was made, not born, that suggests conditioning, programming, like the children in the special program.
Patient 11, it has to be Daniel Park. Speaking of which, has anyone heard from Detective Park?
Not since he left to do more research about 6 hours ago.
Find him, right now, and put Sheriff Kaplan under protective custody. I want to know what happened to her, and who did this.
What is this? Coordinates?
Where the truth is buried, where the final season waits, in darkness, in silence. Go now, before he realizes.
Before who realizes? The seamster?
Yes, he doesn't know I found them, hidden by those who feared the truth, in the well, where secrets sink, but never drown.
A well? At these coordinates?
The old Miller property. Abandoned since 1996, after the owners died, mysteriously, with thread in their veins.
The first victims?
The ones who helped, then wanted to talk. Dr. Lawrence silenced them, but could not retrieve what they had hidden.
The tapes? From the final season?
Complete and unedited. The truth in black and white. For all to see, for all to hear, for all to finally believe.
Why are you telling me this? Why not the FBI?
They are compromised. Still, after all these years, there are those who would bury the truth. Again, you will show the world through your podcast. Your voice cannot be silenced.
I'll go right now. Jamie is coming with me.
No! Go alone. Trust no one. The circle is nearly complete. The seamster watches. Tomorrow is the finale, the final episode, the reveal.
The reveal of what?
Mr. Bean's true face.
Jamie, I need to go somewhere. Threadweaver sent me coordinates.
To do what? Meet with some cryptic freak in the middle of nowhere? Are you legitimately crazy, dude?
He says the complete tapes from the final season are there, hidden in an old well on the Miller property.
This is unbelievable. Let the police handle it, for crying out loud.
The police might still be compromised. Sheriff Kaplan was found in her office with thread marks on her fingers, eyes taped open.
What? Is she?
She's alive, but apparently not speaking, and a message was carved into her desk. The seamster was made, not born.
Jesus Christ. This just gets worse and worse. And you think it's a good idea to go to some random coordinates alone?
I'm going anyway, but I'm texting you my location the whole time. If you don't hear from me every 15 minutes, call the FBI. Ask for Agent Maya Reeves.
This is absolutely insane, Alex. At least let me come with you.
No, I need you safe. In case something happens to me, someone's got to know the truth. Besides, I need you to keep working with Dr. Theo on everything we have so far.
Fine.
I'm heading out now. I'll text you when I get there.
Alex, I found something else. In Marissa's childhood things.
What did you find?
Her diary, from when she was at Cornerstone. It was hidden in a false bottom of her old jewelry box.
What does it say?
She describes being taken to special filming days, where children were separated into groups, speakers and watchers. The speakers got to participate in the show. The watchers, they had to sit behind the mirror and watch what happened when children spoke out of turn.
Oh, Jesus.
She writes about a boy who kept trying to tell everyone what was happening. They made him a special example in front of the watchers. He didn't come back after that.
Did she mention his name?
Only his first initial, D. She called him Brave D, the one who wouldn't stop talking, even when they heard him.
Daniel. That must be Daniel Park.
There's one more thing that is suspicious as hell. In the last entry, she wrote about the final episode, where Mr. Bean was going to take off his mask, show his true face, but they never got to film it. She just wrote a colon. D fought back, blood everywhere. They took him away. They said he was going to a better place, but I saw the needle. I saw the thread. I saw his eyes.
Jesus. Becca, I have to go. I'm close to finding the truth. The complete tapes.
Keep your wits about you, Alex. Whoever did this to my sister is still out there, still killing. And if what she wrote is true, they'll never stop, until everyone who knows is silenced.
Agent Reeves, we've got a location on Detective Park. His cell phone just pinged near the old Miller property, rural area outside town.
Any idea what he's doing there?
No, but there's something else. Alex Trott's phone is pinging from the same location.
Get a team there now. Send me the coordinates.
Teams are en route. ETA 15 minutes.
I've been reviewing Detective Park's family records. There's something odd that we didn't pick up on earlier. Daniel Park wasn't just his cousin. He was his twin brother.
What? But he said cousin.
According to birth records, Liam and Daniel Park, born May 17, 1989, to Louise and Thomas Park. Daniel was admitted to Cornerstone in 1994, age 5, for excessive truthfulness.
Why would he lie about this?
Because according to all official records, Liam Park is an only child. No mention of a twin. It's like Daniel was erased.
And those initials from the production notes. LP. Louise Park?
Or Liam Park. I know who the killer is, and it isn't Park. I found conclusive evidence. I'll show you everything.
Dr. Wells, what evidence? Be specific.
No time to explain fully, but there's a birth certificate, medical records from Cornerstone, and adoption papers. The pattern is clear now. All pieces fit. Ah, crap. I think someone is here. I need to move. Help me.
Dr. Wells? Dominic, trace her phone now.
On it. Signals coming from the old Milford sewing factory. About 3 miles from Cornerstone.
Get a team there immediately. And what's the status on the Miller property team?
Still en route. ETA 5 minutes.
Agent Reeves, I was closest to the sewing factory. Just arrived. No sign of Dr. Wells, but her car is here. And something else.
What is it, officer?
A phone. Not Dr. Wells's phone. Another one. Burner phone. With all the Threadweaver messages. All sent from this device.
Dr. Wells is the Threadweaver?
That's what it looks like. And there's something else. The whole factory is set up like this. Patient photos, staff photos, connected by red thread. A massive network, like she's been mapping this for years.
So she's been manipulating the investigation the entire time?
It appears so. There's a whole section dedicated to Captain Graham and Sheriff Kaplan. And you.
Me?
Your photo, your background, your connection to similar cases. She knew exactly who would be assigned to this investigation. She's been planning this?
Agent Reeves, I found something in Dr. Wells's personnel file. Something deeply troubling.
Go on.
Her doctoral dissertation. It was on corrective behavioral imprinting in childhood trauma victims. Research conducted at a facility called Pine Grove Children's Center, which I've just confirmed was Cornerstone's original name before it was rebranded in 1991.
So she had inside knowledge of the facility even before our investigation?
Worse than that, I found sealed adoption records. Dr. Fiona Wells was born Eliza Winters. She was a patient at Cornerstone, age 7, then adopted by Dr. Thomas Wells, a staff psychologist.
That explains the fingerprint. It was hers all along, but the records were sealed because she was a minor.
Exactly. And there's one more thing. According to the patient records from the storage unit, she was patient 12, the final child in the special program.
The 12th chair. In the circle, the one that was empty.
Yes, she survived. She was graduated from the program. While the others...
What about Detective Park? Any update on his location?
Still at the Miller property, but his movement suggests he's fleeing.
I know this is crazy to ask, but I need you to find out what's happening at the Miller property right now.
Alex, are you safe?
Dr. Wells?
So you know, yes, it's me. I had to maintain separation to protect you, to protect the investigation. They think they found my old burner phone, but they're wrong. I have multiple. I'm in the old factory now, running from him. I'm messaging you because what I'm going to tell you will protect everyone.
Protect me? You've been manipulating me, using me.
No, I've been warning you, guiding you, so you could tell the story, so the world would finally hear what happened to us, to the children.
You were one of them? Patient 12?
The last one, the one who watched, the one who remembered, the one who waited for the right moment.
So you are the seamster?
No! I told you already, for God's sake, you stupid prick. I am only the thread, the connection between past and present. The seamster is Graham, all along.
Captain Graham? But he was found dead.
No, that was a different victim, with his name sewn on their tongue. A message, a warning to him.
I don't understand any of this anymore. Who is killing these people?
Graham. He was Mr. Bean, one of them at least. The one who enjoyed it most, the one who continued the work, long after the facility closed.
But why did you create this elaborate charade? Why not just go to the authorities?
I tried, for years, but they were protected by people in power. I needed evidence. I needed witnesses. I needed someone on the outside. That's why I joined the FBI, why I requested this case, and why I contacted you.
To expose the truth?
Yes. Did you find the tapes?
I did, and an old VCR too. It was all just sitting there in the well, like someone wanted it to be found.
I hid them there, years ago, when I first discovered their existence. The Millers were caretakers at Cornerstone. They stole the tapes. Right before the fire, they were going to expose everything, but Graham found them, silenced them, but never found the tapes.
And now? What's happening now?
The finale, the final episode, the unmasking. I've lured Graham to the factory, but he's much faster than I thought. But regardless, I'll lead him to the facility, and to room 11, where it all happened, where I watched my friends die, one by one, for speaking the truth.
Are you going to kill him?
I'm going to expose him, make him confess, on camera, to the world, the final episode of Mr. Bean, the one they never aired.
But what about the victims? The murdered people?
I didn't kill them. Graham did, to silence those who were finally ready to speak, to stop me, by any means necessary.
And Detective Park? Where does he fit in?
Daniel's brother, looking for answers, just like me, but Graham is tracking him too. You should go, share the tapes, tell the world, before they silence us all.
Jamie, I've got the tapes, and I know who Threadweaver is.
Who?
Dr. Fiona Wells, the FBI profiler. She was patient 12 at Cornerstone.
Holy crap. So she's the killer?
No, she says it's Captain Graham, the one who worked security back then. She's been trying to expose him.
This is crazy. I just recovered a deleted section of video from Mia's tapes. It shows Mr. Bean removing his costume head, and Dr. Theo identified the person inside the costume using age regression software. It's Dr. Elise Lawrence, Dr. Wells' mother.
Her biological mother?
No, her adoptive mother. The one who rescued her from Cornerstone and apparently continued the experiments in private.
This is so messed up. I have to get these tapes to the FBI. Dr. Wells says Graham is the killer, and she's going to lure him to Cornerstone for a final confrontation.
Wait, Graham is still alive?
Yes. The whole found dead thing was another victim with his name sewn on their tongue.
What are you going to do?
I'm heading back right now. The FBI is here. They'll get me to safety. And then we're publishing everything. The tapes, the evidence, all of it.
Agent Reeves, we've just received a message from Dr. Wells herself. Sending now. Hello, STITCH Task Force. By now you've discovered my connection to Cornerstone. You know I was patient 12. You know I survived when others didn't. What you don't know is that I've spent my entire life preparing for this moment. The moment when justice finally comes for the children of Room 11. I was Threadweaver, yes. I fed information to Alex Trott because I needed someone outside the system to tell our story. The system failed us then, and it would fail us now without public pressure. Captain Marcus Graham was Mr. Bean, not the only one, but the cruelest one. After Cornerstone closed, he continued the work. When former patients or staff threatened to speak out, He silenced them the same way he taught us to stay silent, with needles and thread. I joined the FBI to find him, to stop him. Tonight, it ends where it began, in room 11. The circle will be completed. The final episode will air. Maya, I'm sorry for deceiving you. You were chosen because of your integrity, your determination, your history of exposing institutional abuse. I knew you wouldn't stop until you found the truth, even when that truth implicated your superiors. Don't come for me. This is between Graham and me now. But when it's over, when you find us, make sure the world knows what happened to the children of Cornerstone. Make sure no one ever silences them again.
Jesus Christ. She's going to kill Graham.
Or he's going to kill her. Either way, we need to get to Cornerstone now.
Alert all available units. Full tactical response. I want the building surrounded.
What about Detective Park?
His involvement is still unclear. Consider him potentially armed and dangerous, or potentially another victim. But our priority is Doctor Wells and Graham.
Alex Trott is being brought in with the tapes he found. They might contain evidence we need.
Get them processed immediately. All units converge on Cornerstone. Full tactical response. I want snipers on all rooftops and teams at every entrance. We have 2 high-value targets inside, Dr. Fiona Wells and Captain Marcus Graham.
Agent Reeves, I've managed to access the old security system. The facility still has power somehow, and some of the cameras are operational. Live feed coming through.
Is anyone visible?
Not yet, but there are signs of recent activity. The chairs have been rearranged to match the configuration from the 90s, and there appears to be recording equipment set up.
Northeast entrance team ready. Southwest team in position, waiting for your order to breach.
Hold for my command. I want visual confirmation of both targets first.
Movement detected. Lower level corridor.
Is that Park?
Yes, he appears to be searching for something. Not hostile behavior, in my opinion.
Can we establish communication?
Negative. The signal's too weak inside the lower levels, but I can track his movements on the drone.
Keep eyes on him, but Graham and Wells remain our priority.
Wait, camera 7 just activated. Main floor corridor.
That's Dr. Wells. Is she armed?
Not visibly. She's carrying something. Appears to be the Mr. Bean puppet. And a file box. She's heading toward room 11.
Still no sign of Graham?
Scanning all feeds. Got him! Camera 4. East wing. He looks incapacitated in some way. Dr. Wells must have subdued him somehow. She's leading him to room 11.
All teams prepare to breach on my mark. Priority is to secure both targets alive.
Agent Reeves, I assume you're outside by now.
Captain Graham, are you okay?
Not really. She's got me. The bitch set me up. She's been planning this for years.
What's your situation? Are you hurt?
Drugged. Can barely stand and even typing is hard. She ambushed me at my house. Said she needed to discuss the case. Then injected me with something.
What does she want?
Revenge. For what happened at Cornerstone. She's delusional. She thinks I'm Mr. Bean. That I killed those people.
And did you?
What? Of course not. I was security at Cornerstone. Yes, decades ago. But I was not involved in patient care. I didn't know what happened in room 11. I wasn't authorized for that level.
Then why hide your connection? Why not disclose it when the case opened?
Because I signed confidentiality agreements. And frankly, I was ashamed when I learned what had happened there after I left. But I didn't kill anyone. Wells did. She engineered this whole investigation, all to trap the remaining staff, to make us pay.
Where has she taken you?
Room 11. She says she's going to make me confess. On camera. Make me wear the puppet head. Become Mr. Bean one last time. She doesn't know I have my phone though. And she's not in the room with me.
We're coming in. Hold on.
Jamie, are you seeing this? The FBI shared their security feeds with us.
Yes. I think I'm on the verge of puking from nerves, man, that's all. Dr. Wells drugged Graham and is leading him to that room.
She's forcing a confession, going to make him admit what he did.
If he did anything, we still don't have proof, except...
Except what?
I found something in the facility records, Doctor. Theo sent. There was a special patient group called the Observers. Children who weren't just treated, but were being trained to become future treatment specialists.
And Dr. Wells was one of them?
Patient 12, yes. But guess who else was in that program? As patient 6.
Graham?
Yes, Marcus Graham. He was a patient before he was security. They both were victims and perpetrators. The children who watched became the adults who enforced.
And now they're about to have their final confrontation. I'm going live with this. The world needs to see.
Are you sure? This could be dangerous.
I'm just broadcasting the feeds. I'm safe at the FBI checkpoint. Everyone needs to see this. The truth. No more silence. No more secrets.
Just be careful they don't cut your feed. Once this is out, there's no going back. For any of us.
I know. That's the point. Going live in 30 seconds.
Agent Reeves, Detective Park has discovered something in the lower level. He just entered what appears to be an archive room, filled with hundreds of VHS tapes.
Can we see what's on them?
One of the tactical team members has a portable VCR in their vehicle. From the evidence collection kit. We can retrieve it.
Do it, but maintain focus on room 11. That's where this will end.
Dr. Wells and Graham have arrived. Room 11 camera is now active. She's securing him to the chair, setting up recording equipment, and she's speaking, audio coming through. Remember this place, Marcus? Remember what happened here? Remember how you watched, how you learned, how you became the monster they created? Tonight, you'll confess every name, every child, every sin. The final episode of Mr. Bean, the unmasking.
All teams prepare to breach. On my mark. In 3, 2 dots. 1 dot dot dot. Breach now.
We're live from outside Cornerstone facility, where authorities are currently breaching the building in what appears to be the culmination of a decades-long cover-up of systematic child abuse disguised as therapy. FBI agent Dr. Fiona Wells, herself a survivor, has captured Captain Marcus Graham, a former patient-turned-security officer, who allegedly continued the facility's horrific practices long after its closure. We have access to security feeds inside the building, and will continue broadcasting as events unfold. Every voice matters now. The FBI is inside and they just tried to cut our video relay, but Dominic Rivera is keeping us connected. Oh my god, we have new footage coming in. They've breached. Good lord, there's a man in the room with stitches on his hands. I can't quite make out what it says though. Let me enhance. I watched on his left palm. I knew on his right palm. And Dr. Wells is just sitting there, calmly, in one of the circle chairs, waiting for them. Is she surrendering, perhaps? She's presenting them with files and the puppet. She's saying something. It's all here. Every name, every child, every staff member, every observer, every victim. The thread connects us all. I've done what needed to be done. She's exposing them. This wasn't about vengeance. It was about justice, about breaking the silence. After all these years, they're taking her away. She's in custody now, but the look on her face, she's smiling because she won. The story is out. No more silence. No more secrets. The children of Cornerstone have finally been heard.
Agent Reeves, Graham is alive, heavily sedated. Medical team is treating him now. The thread didn't cause permanent damage. Dr. Wells is in custody, fully cooperative. Says she has evidence implicating 37 people in the Cornerstone program and subsequent cover-up.
What about the evidence recovered by Detective Park?
We've reviewed several tapes. They show therapy sessions. Absolutely confirms systematic abuse. Multiple adults in the Mr. Bean costume, teaching children to stay quiet, using temporary stitches as behavior modification. It's horrific.
And Detective Park?
He's cooperating fully, providing family records and testimony about his brother. Daniel was one of the victims who didn't survive, but Detective Park was never involved in any wrongdoing. He was genuinely searching for the truth.
What about the murders? Who killed those 5 people?
Dr. Wells claims Graham did, to silence those who were finally ready to talk. She says she tracked him for years, gathering evidence, until she was in position to stop him and expose everything.
And Graham?
Still unconscious. But we found a journal in his home, detailing his treatments, of adults who threatened to expose the program, describing how he silenced them, using the methods he learned at Cornerstone.
It's over then. The case, the killings, the decades of silence.
Yes, though the aftermath will continue for years, as we identify all victims, and all perpetrators. It's hard to tell where one ends and the other begins. The program didn't just hurt children, it created monsters.
From victims.
Exactly.
Alex, I've been watching your broadcast. Thank you for helping us all get answers, for giving Marissa justice.
She deserved it. All of the victims did.
I've been speaking with other families, other survivors. We're establishing a foundation for support, for healing, for making sure this never happens again.
That's wonderful. Count me in. Whatever you need.
Your platform, your voice. That's all we need to keep the silence broken forever.
Final situation report. Captain Marcus Graham in federal custody, charged with 5 counts of murder and numerous counts of child endangerment, abuse of power, and corruption. Dr. Fiona Wells also in custody, but cooperating fully. Charges pending review of her actions. Detective Liam Park cleared of all suspicion, now working with victim services to identify and protect remaining survivors. Sheriff Ellen Kaplan in psychiatric care, appears to have been forced to comply with Graham through blackmail and manipulation. This case is officially closed. Stitch Task Force has completed its mission. My final report will detail how Cornerstone's program created both victims and perpetrators through systematic trauma, turning children into abusers through observation and conditioning. Breaking the cycle of abuse will require extensive support for all those affected, both directly and indirectly. It has been an honor to work with you all, even through deception and manipulation. We found the truth. We broke the silence. The children of Cornerstone have finally been heard.
1 month later, a package arrived today. No return address, but I know who it's from.
Dr. Wells?
Yes, the complete Mr. Bean series. All episodes, including the ones never aired, and a handwritten note.
What does it say?
Dear Alex, by the time you receive this, I will be in witness protection. My testimony has implicated 37 individuals involved in the Cornerstone program. After decades of silence, justice is finally coming for the children of Room 11. I want to thank you for your courage in telling our story, for being the voice we never had, the thread that connected past to present. I spent my life observing, analyzing, planning, thinking that justice would heal the wounds. But I was wrong. True healing began only when I stopped observing and started speaking, when I broke the cycle of silence they created. These tapes are the complete record of what happened at Cornerstone. Use them wisely. Use them to ensure this never happens again. The thread of silence is finally broken. Sincerely, Patient 12 inches.
It's really over then.
The case is, but for the survivors, the healing is just beginning.
What will you do with the tapes?
Create a permanent record so no one can ever silence these children again. The final episode of Mr. Bean, the one where the truth is finally revealed.
And the masks come off.
Exactly. No more hiding. No more secrets. No more silence. The thread is broken. The cycle of pain is finally over.